Scott, what's going on, pal?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, man. You've had a busy few weeks, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been mad. So obviously, like a month ago, we were filming Pinocchio, and then it was Christmas, New Year's, and then a week later, I was in LA for Peter Pan. So yeah, it's been mental.
So I have to ask because I actually caught this in theaters twice. I
Oh
had to support.
wow!
I
Oh
had to
cool!
support this film
Oh
because
wow! Thanks.
ever since I saw Winnie the Pooh when Winnie the Pooh 2, you have really caught my eye
Oh
because
thanks.
one of my biggest things on my podcast is I like original ideas.
Mm,
And with how the horror franchise has been in the last couple of years, I think we're just in the state of just stale
yeah.
remakes or just movies we don't even need.
Mm,
And now you have refreshed everybody's eyes with these public domain movies and stuff like that.
mm.
What was the process like for you to make Winnie the Pooh one and two, and then you shot Pinocchio, and now you have Peter Pan?
Yeah. So how it all came about was honestly like I've been producing for about 10 years. And this has not come easy to me at all, any of this. Like, I don't come from the industry. My parents, haven't financially supported me, any of that. So, like, I was really trying to force my way into the industry and I was doing everything I could. Like, I did make some short films, but again, I didn't have enough money. So, like, no one really saw them. And like all the film festivals, it's very is some of it is who you know and stuff, or like
Yeah.
who is in your short if you have a named actor, and I don't have any of that. So I was trying to think of like unique selling points for myself and like ways that I could stand out in this really oversaturated industry. And then I just well, I've always made horror films since I was a little kid with my dad's video camera. So it's always a natural thing to make my own films, and I've always like written my own scripts, directed, produced, edited. I've always done it. So since a little kid, so it was like natural. And then basically, I started like making really cheap little films that were made on about £5,000. Um, and I started going from there really, and I was like churning them out and doing as many as I could, like trying to learn as much as I could. But the big thing is my unique selling point was I wanted to make 100 films by a certain age because I was thinking that could be my unique selling point. If I went into a room to pitch for money, they would go, "Ooh, fuck," or like he's made 100 feature films on like all on under 100 grand. So like surely he will do well with this budget. And like, and I do feel like when you've worked with so little, you know how to spend every penny on screen. Which is like my more recent films where I've had a bit more money. I feel like they don't feel like the £300,000 that we had. I feel like they feel a lot more. But yeah, so I was like churning them out really, going for various concepts, all that kind of stuff. And then I think it was in 2022. I think that was the year I did Pooh. I obviously do my acting career, so I started off the year leading this movie called Dr. Jekyll. I was filming that for about 6 weeks, but while I was there on set, I was literally producing other films. So like between takes, I'd be like replying on WhatsApp groups, all that kind of stuff. And then I did a TV show as well, same thing. I was still producing films, and I produced probably like 40 odd films that year, and one of them happened to be Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And it wasn't really anything that I thought would go mad. I thought it'd be a little bit clickbait. It might get like bloody disgusting, might post it and get a couple of retweets. I thought it might be that. But very much to my surprise, overnight it blew up once we'd made it. We made it on £20,000, and I literally woke up one morning and I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "It gone mental," and I really weren't anticipating it. And then before we knew it, we were on like CNN, TMZ, on the like BBC radio. It was just mental. Like Variety were doing interviews with us. It was crazy, and I'm sat there thinking, "Fuck!" It's all over this 20 grand little film. Um, and like to put it in perspective, stuff like Paranormal Activity wasn't even made on that. It was like made on like I think that the final budget was 500 grand. It's like, and that
Yeah.
was like 10 years ago. So you got to put it in perspective. 500 grand then today would probably be more like 700.
Yeah.
So this is a tiny little film, and I'm getting a bit nervous. So I'm ringing up like the distributors, going, "Can I have some more money to go and reshoot some bits and make it better?" Because it's a low budget film. It is what it is. There's lots of dialogue in it. Like that's how you make low budget films. It's like to keep the budget down, like to fluff it out. You have lots of heavy dialogue scenes, and then you have like your horror. But that's the only way you can make these films. And but the distributors were like, no, we don't really want to spend much because even though it's gone viral, we don't know what's going to happen. And blah blah blah. It might get shut down by Disney and da 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 da. So anyway, it came out. It was a really wild couple of months. Lots of like online just hatred, death threats, a lot of negativity. You know, the Razzies. It was just like so much like it just wasn't nice really, and it was hard to kind of like laugh it off. And that's why I didn't really celebrate the Razzies because I just feel like if you look at the other competition, it was just a bit. I feel like mean spirited, like to put ours in there when you've got like, it like the worst film of the year was like us up against the Meg 2 and all these massive films, and it's like we are a tiny little film that just went viral by accident. We're not a studio film. Like it was literally like five people made the film, so I didn't really celebrate that, but it was more just because I thought, my loyalty to Reese and stuff and how hard he actually worked. And, I know people on the internet said like, oh, we're lazy and we're cash grabs and all that. It's like, honestly, I really didn't think it would earn any money. It was just another credit for the CV, really. And, and yeah, like we definitely were not lazy. Like we put so like every film is hard to make. It doesn't matter what film it is. Like no film's easy, but especially horror, because like a death scene takes absolutely fucking ages to execute. Like you've
Oh
got all
yeah.
the S effects, you've got all the different shots. Like someone walking in a room and stabbing someone is probably about 10 shots. Like it's not like normal dialogue where it's like close, close, and that's all you really need to cover the scene. It's like all the inserts, the reactions, and all that. So we were not lazy doing it, but whatever. And then obviously had this bit of a chip on our shoulders, and we were like, right, we've got to prove everyone wrong with like Winnie 2 and all this kind of stuff. And we were like, we're gonna like show them and all this. So we had a bit more money. I think we had £300,000 to do Winnie 2, so we like went for it. It was made. I think we produced it. It was written, produced, made, edited, and released all within under a year after the first one coming out. So it came out under a year, but luckily we came out to like a much more positive reaction and reception, and people actually saying nice things. So we're really grateful for that. But yeah, then very quickly after that, I think 2 months after filming that, we were like filming Bambi. So we did Bambi in the January of the next year. And then in the April, well, then we had Winnie 2 release in March. And then like a week later, I was filming Peter Pan. And then, what else did I do that year? Oh, yeah. And then literally Pinocchio a month ago. So yeah, it's all been,
Wow.
but yeah, it's all about execution now. And like less is more in a way. So trying to make it quality so people can see that.
Yeah, because it feels like you're always working on something. Because I follow you on Instagram, you're
Yeah.
just always doing something. And it felt like you had the script for Peter Pan very, very, very quick. And then
Yeah.
3 or 4 months later, like I'm going to make it. I'm like, already?
Mm.
You just got the
Yeah.
script.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like,
Well, that's like weirdly that from making all them films, and that's why like I encourage anyone to do this. Like I didn't go to film school. Everything I've done is self-taught, like in terms of like just learning on the job or watching YouTube videos or reading, books and stuff on directing or writing or whatnot. But I think I learned so much from doing such a quick turnaround because at the beginning I really, really couldn't afford to not basically do as many jobs as possible to earn money. So like I was writing the scripts probably for about £200 I got paid. I was directing the films for about £700, and then I was producing them probably for about a grand. So like that's all I was actually earning. When people keep going on about me earning all this money from it, it's like I actually weren't earning much. But yeah, that's why I was also making so many films because I didn't want to go back to my day job, which was I was doing like leafleting in the streets, like flyering, and I didn't want to go back to it. So I was like, I have to keep this ball rolling just to keep me in work. And then fortunately, the acting started happening, and then I was able to use that money to invest in films. But yeah, like I think from doing all them films, like I remember the shortest I wrote a script was in a day. Like I woke up at like 9 a.m. and I set myself a goal because we had basically it got greenlit the night before, and they were like, "We need you to be filming this next week, and we need it delivered in like 4 weeks." And I was like, "Fuck, next week?"
Jeez.
Yeah, and I was like, I need to be writing this like now. So like all night I was like brainstorming, and then I woke up at like 9 o'clock, and I just said, "You have to write this by the end of the day." And I think it got to like 8 p.m. and I had the script done, and then yeah, literally 4 days later we're on set filming it, and it weren't even an easy film. It was a Viking film, and I don't even like Vikings, so I was like quickly googling like Viking stuff. I was like, I don't have a clue. I don't. It's not even my type of thing. But I had to adapt to stuff very quick. I couldn't afford to
Yeah.
pay for writers. I had to do it myself. So then when we get to Peter Pan, I wrote that while we were filming Bambi. So like sometimes when it was like downtime, I'd be like in the trailers and I'd be like writing the script. So yeah, like it's very in me to work fast. Like my directing, like I self AD myself, like so with scheduling and stuff. Like I'm very like I don't need to rely on someone. I can AD myself. I look at the time and I know, I can't get these shots, and I'll start deleting shots. But that's why I feel like when I finally get a proper budget, I feel like I really will be able to achieve great stuff. I feel very good because I've had to work on so low budgets and such quick time frames, and with not sometimes not much support from like the team and stuff. So yeah, it's trained me up basically.
So would you rather work with writers or you just handle it, it yourself?
I would definitely like to work with experienced writers. I'd love that. With more amateur writers, I'd probably rather just do it myself because I have just been you just get let down too much. Like you agree on stuff, then they hand you something in, and then it's just not what you agreed on. It's not the treatment that you greenlit, and it's just I think it's just too hit and miss. Whereas when someone's actually, it doesn't mean I want to work with someone that's only done like the big stuff. It's just like someone that's done a couple of scripts that I can read it and kind of know that they're going to get what I want. Um, yeah, I think writing is everyone. There's a lot of people that say they're writers and they're not, basically. So probably now I just want to work with people that have got experience, or if I can't find someone or I can't afford it, I just do it myself. Yeah,
Yeah, because sometimes you can't really make somebody else see what you want on
yeah,
screen too. So
yeah.
that's a big issue.
Yeah, exactly. And also, they just tell you also just what they feed you. Yeah, I get it, I get it, and then they just don't get it, and you get the script, you're like, what the fuck? It's like a comedy. It's meant to be really serious, and or like the other way around. It's like it's meant to be like B movie fun, and it's like the most serious thing I've ever read. I remember like I did like this really over the top shark film. I think it was like Tsunami Shark, and it was like literally it was meant to be like it was meant to be really B movie, really camp, and it was meant to be like sharks invade the city. And I remember the first script I got for that was like Wyvern Heights, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, no, I was like, it's meant to be really camp. I was like, we cannot make this. But then and then other writers, I remember like there was a Two Fairies script that we had years and years ago, like 7 years ago, and I remember like the writer had put stuff like the Two Fairies like climbing on the wall, on the ceiling, and all this, and I was like, we're making this on £8,000. How the fuck am I going to do that? So it's also that. So yeah.
That's just wild that they want this big extravagant Hollywood
hmm
film, and you're like, with what?
hmm
Like how?
I know. This is just the thing with some writers that it's like you know what? It's not even just writers. It's every area of filmmaking, acting, directing, ADing, sound, all of them. I cannot believe when they go to film school or whatever their training is that they only learn their department. It's so I cannot express how important and vital I think it is to know all the departments. Like as an actor, knowing what the lighting person is saying and understanding it,
Yeah,
understanding how important meeting your cues are, how important it is just being on time because you're affecting everyone. You're going to make no one wants to work late because they've all been there longer than you, and da 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 da. And then not just that, like there's just various stuff. It's just like the sound person saying, "Oh, I could hear footsteps in the background," but if they worked in the sound design a lot more, a lot of people don't. But if they did, they would know that you can easily get rid of that. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
it's like, and then they make you redo the whole take again, and you don't have time, and it's just like everyone should really be, and especially with writers, if they were on set and they directed a couple of films, they would go, right, okay, there's no way they can have the Tooth Fairy climbing on the ceiling, you know? So
Not with that kind of money.
I know
Like
8 grand.
that's at
Yeah.
least 20 at least.
Oh no, it's mental, and to do it safely as well. I remember like going, "Can you send me the cell text of this?" And I was just like, editing it, and I was like, "Delete." I was like, the Tooth Fairy walks in the room, so
Flying? What's flying?
no, yeah, no,
We
walking.
don't we don't do that here.
Yeah,
So cuz I don't remember Winnie the Pooh being in theaters over here at all.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I I just got the I saw the article pop out and
Hmm.
Bloody Disgusting saw and I saw the trailer
Yeah.
and I caught it on video on demand
Hmm.
and I was blown away
Oh, really? By
because
number one?
yeah,
Oh, thanks.
because here again, I've said this on every episode of my podcast. Give me something original.
Mm.
Stop watering down these Hollywood films
Hmm.
because to me, I feel like somebody walks down the library of a movie and goes, "All right, what can we fuck up today?"
Yeah.
Because I was a huge Crow fan with
Oh,
Brand,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
with
Yeah,
Brandon
same.
Lee,
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård. I love Bill Skarsgård. This is nothing against him, but that to me wasn't Crow.
Mm.
Like, and I think with horror movies, I think major like companies should talk to their fans
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
it feels like you generally care about your film. You
yeah.
generally care about your audience because you want them to be happy.
Yep. Hmm.
I think with movies nowadays, we need more of that. We need more
Yeah,
people like you.
the problem is like from my little experience and interaction of like meeting the studios, it seems they're very like not all of them, but some of them seem very orientated about the PG-13 rating because they want to get bums on seats. That means money,
Yep.
so therefore they don't want the gore, they don't want the deaths, they just want jump scares and all that. And the problem is as a filmmaker, if you go and do that, they'll earn some money off it because the concept will probably be something quite like, oh, cool, that looks good, but you go and watch it and the execution's bad, then they're talking shit, and then normally the director gets thrown under the bus, and then your career's over, and you're in this thing called like director jail or whatever they call it. But that yeah, it is a problem. Like I always try and I always do polls on my Instagram, and I do like tell me what you want to see, tell me what you want more of, tell me what you didn't like. I'm very approachable. Like you can DM me, I'll read it. Like even the other day, like someone like messaged me saying that they didn't like the tone of Peter Pan, and I replied and said like, what do you mean the tone? Like can you explain it a bit more? Like I actually want to learn like what you didn't
Yep.
like about it. But then it turns out I don't think they quite understood tone because then when they started explaining tone, it was about some of the acting, and I was like, oh, that's not, that's just, I don't know, that's just preference, but on performance, but I don't know, but I do want to learn though, like, and I do want to take on board what people say, and that's why, like, to me, like, the critic reaction, I don't honestly give a shit, like, I really don't, like, I don't think this franchise or like this universe I'm creating is ever gonna get a fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think it will because I feel like they all go into this with such a like a negative thing, like this I don't know this taste in the mouth that they just can't get rid of from the first one or whatever. And it's like this they go in with a negative mindset, and if you go in something with a negative mindset, yeah, you ain't going to enjoy it.
No.
So what's the
Never.
point even reviewing it? But then they still review it because they know that people they're going to put it out there with clicks. So they're doing it. They're
Yep.
just as bad as me, really. Like when they go, "Oh, you're doing it for like what do they say? Like they say like I'm just cashing in, which genuinely isn't the thing. But if I the thing is, I could rename Peter Pan something totally different, and you wouldn't know it's a Peter Pan film. Like that's what I mean. I actually made a film that didn't even need to be Peter Pan,
No.
but still you're going to give me shit because you're going into it going, oh, it's Peter Pan. Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas if I called it something else, number one, you wouldn't watch it. Like, no one would watch it. Wouldn't go to cinemas, all that kind of stuff. So it's not like I'm cashing in, but I am definitely like, yeah, I'm using it to my advantage, just like the people that made Nosferatu did, just like the people that made Wolfman did. These are all IPs that we have seen over and over and over. And yeah, I don't understand the difference really. Like, if anything, I'm doing something that is different. Like, I don't think it is lazy, and that's why, like, I appreciate your comment because, yeah, like with Disney in particular, they've got the amazing animation films and all that, and then when they're making the live action films, it is the exact same thing that we've seen. There's not much different. It's just the casting
No.
is a bit different, but there's no difference. Whereas what I'm trying to do is I am trying to re-envision stuff. I'm trying to do a twisted take. Same with Peter Pan. It's like it is just my twisted take on it, and it's like, um, yeah, but if you don't like it, you don't like it. And I am also trying to open this universe up a bit. Like, I don't want it to be like, I like the Conjuring films, but I understand if you don't like them because
Yeah.
they're all tonally the same thing. Like, every film, like The Nun and The Conjuring, and I forget what other films are in that universe, but they're all tonally the same. Like, they feel like the same universe.
It
Whereas
is.
what I actually want to do with mine is open it up a bit. Like, if you didn't like Pooh, Blood and Honey, well, then you might like Pan. Like, because there's different audiences out there. So I'm trying to open it up. Like, this one might be for you if that one weren't for you. So, like, it's not a closed off universe, which might go against me because, yeah, some people might go, like, there's a lot of people, when I was reading some of the reviews, they were saying, oh, this should be a B movie and it should be this and it should be that. Well, that's what you think it should be. But like to me, like this is my twisted version and I directed it and do you know what I mean? This was my little vision for it. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I'm trying to make it so it's like open to a lot of people.
Yeah. Back to what you say with The Conjuring, every single movie in that universe was the same thing. The Nun, La Llorona,
Mm.
Annabelle.
Yeah, Annabelle and all that.
It
Yeah.
was basically the same movie, but in different pieces.
Yeah, yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah.
and that movie is on the biggest pedestal right now.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. Yeah.
like if I went on the internet right now and said The Conjuring is just the same movie,
Mm.
well, it would get I would probably be banned off Facebook for a day.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as soon as you take something God to people, as we were saying offline, it's my word doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah, I know. There's certain franchises out there where they're like this like god level tier, and I just don't think there's anything they can do wrong. Um, but that's fine, I guess. But I don't think what I'm doing at the minute in this little universe will ever get that. I feel like there's just too much like hatred towards it, and to be honest, I don't even understand some of it because a lot of platforms and stuff say that they oh, we need to support indie films and stuff. Well, I am a true indie filmmaker.
Yeah.
True. I don't have a studio backing me. I'm putting my own money into Peter Pan. I'm putting my own money into Winnie the Pooh. Like any money I'm earning is truly going back into it. Like right now, I'm actually skint. Like I have no money. Like I'm absolutely fucking skint. But that's because I'm literally reinvesting my money. Because if I
Yeah.
don't, I'm gonna have half the budget, and then the film will be a bit shit because that's all I can get off the distributors. They don't want to put too much in these still. Whereas I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll put it in, but also, hopefully, fingers crossed, I will get it back later.
Yeah.
But yeah, like to me, it's like it's just all about progression. Hopefully, people see that in my movies, and but yeah, we've got stuff outside of this universe that we're now developing, and I feel really strong about, like really, really strong. Hopefully, I can say more about it soon, but. We're getting a script together for something, and I feel really, really good about it. We've had a couple of places interested, and it would be like Evil Dead gore vibes. So I'm
Oh,
hoping, yeah. And the people we're talking to, they're happy about like the gore and stuff, and that's something that's been missing in the genre for a while. I think, like obviously Terrifier, massive hats off for bringing that back because it's been like what since the Saw films. I feel like since Saw, it's kind of just been dead in terms of horror,
yeah.
gore. Sorry, gore. But I feel like hopefully it's coming back a bit because yeah, I miss gory films. I love them. I love creative deaths and stuff. Like yeah,
Same. We are on the same floor right there because
yeah,
Saw was probably my favorite franchise from
yeah.
5 to 10 years ago.
Me too.
And as you said, after Saw, and we got the what was it, Spiral, right
Yeah,
afterwards, and it just felt like it just fell off a cliff.
yeah.
And
Well,
then
is
Terrifier came out.
yeah, well, it's all this thing again. It's all like lots of people are just hypocritical because you go through. I feel like people go through these phases because we went through that phase of oh, I don't want to watch torture porn anymore. Blah 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 blah. 5 years later, they do want to watch torture porn, and everyone's missed it because Terrifier's back, like kicking it all off. So I don't know. I think people say stuff, and people just talk shit on the internet, and they don't know what they actually want. They say they want stuff, and they don't want it. It's like, for example with Peter Pan, like to be honest, I do appreciate this, but people going you know, the Peter Pan that I've made, that they think it should be. you know, where's the pirate boat ship and where's the crocodile? There is crocodile in it, but it's more like it's used as a device to manipulate the kids and stuff, like to
Yeah.
terrify them. But they want to see the VFX crocodile. They want to see Tinkerbell flying in the air. It's like, yeah, yeah, great. It would all look shit. Like I
Yeah.
don't have the money at the minute to execute any of that well, so I could go and do that, and I wouldn't have at the minute like I've had mostly positive, but I would have flat out all negative reviews because they'd be going, oh, it's just shit, it's B movie cheap crap. You don't want to see Tinkerbell flying in the background with like these really shit VFX wings, do you? You want to see it done well, or like this
Yeah.
crap VFX crocodile just popping out and biting someone. You want to see it done well, um, and people say they want things. It's like, well, I can tell you now you don't want it. Not on this budget, you don't want it. So I feel like what I made with Peter Pan is probably the best I could have done with the money. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I have no problems with it whatsoever.
Oh,
I I
good.
I liked it. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
I don't know why everybody is just being negative on everything that's being put out. That's not
Yeah.
Terrifier or
Hmm.
whatever is cool today because internet is it's fly by night. Let's be real with you.
Yeah, yeah,
You could put out Terrifier, whatever it is, and they would see your name and
yeah.
link you to Winnie the Pooh and not like it anyway. But
I know,
but it's the
yeah.
same as Terrifier,
Hmm.
and they still wouldn't
Yeah.
be happy with it.
No, totally, yeah. Like I could probably rename one of the most famous films and slap like, I don't know, Mad Hatter on it, and it would get shit. Like I just can't win. But I do feel like it's just this universe, and I feel like when I step out of it, which eventually I will step out of it, like I'm not going to do this forever. I think there is a time frame to it. I feel like I also just like there's only so much you can do with it, and I don't want to rinse it and then just people just go, oh my god, just Scott, just give it a break. So I feel like there is some life in it at the minute. Like there's some ideas, some creative ideas that me and Reese still have, and we're still excited about. But I feel like there will be a point in the near future where we kind of go, okay, I think we're done with this, and we want to move on to like proper budgeted stuff and just try and because even now like this is the biggest budget we've ever worked on. Like I was so used to working around about 50 grand or less, and these are like £300,000. So to me, I'm feeling like I've got money and stuff, and I can execute things well and all that.
Yeah,
Um, but there's still like a ceiling to it all, and I can have these ideas, but I just can't do them. I can't execute them well. So I think that's what I want to move into. But I'm excited for like Pooniverse because we've got like 1.5 million, which again sounds amazing. But then again, I've got 10 creatures. So it's like, fuck. Do you know what I mean? And that's just going to eat so much money. And also all the deaths in that. Like, we want to go fucking crazy. And I don't want any VFX in it. I want it all to be practical. And it's just going to cost because practical effects, there's a reason people do VFX because it's time efficient and cheap. Whereas the practical effects, they're time consuming, they're expensive, they're hit and miss. They don't always work. Like I've had some stuff on like the recent films like that we've done, and it's like you get to set and it ain't working, and you're like fuck. And I spent so much money on this. You're like shit, this gag doesn't work. But yeah, is what it is.
so, do you think some of the actual negative feedback is because you're taking a Disney character and
Yeah.
you're making them a cold-blooded killer?
I think so, yeah, and I think it's definitely that, and I think number two, people just looking at it with such a negative thing of, oh, it's a cash grab and all that, and it's like truly, it isn't. How I look at this is people are finally seeing my stuff, and that's what I've been begging people to do for so long. I've been begging for opportunities, begging for chances, begging for a bit more money, and finally it's happening. It really isn't me sat here like I don't know, cashing in really. Like, you'd be shocked at the waterfall before it gets to us. We're at the bottom of the waterfall. The people it goes through to get to us, you'll be
Yeah,
shocked at what we actually get. It is shocking. But I'm doing it more because by doing this, people are watching my stuff. So I'm trying to utilize this. Like I've been very like lucky recently that some of the studios have watched Peter Pan, and I've been getting such a great reception from it. And I'm like, fuck yes! Like this is why I did this because I wanted to execute it well. I wanted people to see that me like executing one tone Like with Winnie the Pooh, the tone shifts a bit, and I do see that.
Yeah.
I know that is a problem. Whereas with Peter Pan, I feel like the whole thing is consistent and it sets out to do what it does. And all the practical effects I feel like are good. The acting's good, and you know, it's a bit of less is more with that film. And I know people maybe enjoy Winnie Two more. Or I don't know. It's a bit 50-50 what people like, but Winnie Two, like there was some certain bits that we didn't execute well. But again, it was because we tried to achieve what we couldn't achieve really. Like all them deaths we couldn't really do them all, and we had to use like some VFX because we just couldn't achieve it. We had so many actors and all this kind of stuff. It was just mental.
So I saw your post on Instagram a few days ago, and I
Oh
have
yeah,
to ask you this question:
yeah.
Is it true that you're making a Alice in Wonderland movie?
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's my next one that I'm directing. It's called Alice and Mad Hatter. And at the minute, I'm still coming up with ideas, but I like the idea of a Nora meets Maniac. I feel like that would be really cool. But I'm gonna have a bit more fun with it. So like Peter Pan was really dark because it was dealing with kids. Um, and I really struggle to make that funny. Just because when kids are going missing and stuff, I'm just like, I don't know how you do this funny. So even again, even stuff like that on the internet where people are going like, it should be fun. It's like, oh, you try and do a film where you're killing kids and it's funny. I don't know, but
How do you do that?
I don't know, but I feel positive about Mad Hatter. I feel like I can have some fun with him. I'm gonna make a really twisted guy who's like I want like basically Alice. I think I want this to be the plot. I think I want it to be like Alice works at the White Rabbit, which is an escorting agency, and the Mad Hatter gets obsessed with her, and the victims would be more like the women's clients. I don't really want it to be like he's outwardly going after sex workers. I think that is a bit like we've seen it before, and
Yeah.
a bit. I don't know. It's like it's not fun. I don't think because that line of work it is serious. Like they do actually get serious abuse all the time and death. But so I want to play with the people that the clients and stuff like that who they're interacting with, and I think there's a lot of fun to be had. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna turn the light on quick 'cause it's getting super dark here. But yeah,
That just sounds like a movie that I would watch tomorrow if it was
yeah.
readily available because that just sounds great.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I hope so.
Like,
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have some fun with it. Yeah, like because I actually liked Nora quite a lot, and I was like, oh, I bet she would be fun in like a horror film. Like I could see her as like a final girl sort of thing, that character. And I want someone that's like, again, I don't like perfect characters. So like in Peter Pan, like no one in that's perfect, including Wendy. I like characters that have got a little bit of edge to them that aren't like your cookie cutters. I don't like cookie cutters in films, like where it's like she's the perfect daughter and she's the bitch and he's the jock. I'm not really into that. So
no.
I really want to create some fun roles in that, which I think I can do.
So is the script for the Pooniverse done?
No, we're doing it right now.
Doing it
So
right
yeah,
now? Okay.
yeah.
Because
So we've got the treatment that's done, and we're in the middle of writing it right now. So yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be good. It's fun to write it, but I just know executing it will be a fucking pain. Like I always say, my favorite bits are like pre-production and post-production. I hate filming because on set it's so difficult, especially on low budget, because there's so much like on the day you're just constantly trying to fight against stuff and you're trying your best to like get the best shot out of stuff, and it is just it's difficult. It's a
uh,
difficult ride.
it, it seems like it. So we were talking a little bit off air about what is the matter with horror movies now, and I think horror movies is too. I think it's too child friendly now
Yep, 100%.
because they're I think horror movies are now looking at let's get PG-13 rating, gets more kids in, gets more whoever wants to see this now because my
Yeah.
biggest gripe was Five Nights at Freddy's. Big video game. I get it. Trust me. I don't need any more hate for hating Five Nights at Freddy's. But I think that movie would have been more successful if it had an R rating.
Mm.
So Do you think we're going to ever get away from the PG-13 era of horror movies, or we're just going to be stuck in this horror slash thriller slash suspense era of?
I think we're stuck here for a little bit, just because I feel like PG-13 does result in money for the studios, because it's making it more accessible, more bums on seats, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
annoyingly, I think we're going to be in it for a while. But films like Terrifier, and hopefully what we're doing as well, will hopefully help a bit, because but then again, it's all down to people coming out and supporting them, and it's not just Terrifier. Like Terrifier is doing super well, but like supporting all of these types of films, anything indie. Um, that has gore and all that kind of stuff. If that's what you want to be seeing in the big films, the only way they'll know that is by seeing the numbers. And if they see the numbers from little films, then it will move. You've got the chance of it moving back up into the studios. But I feel like if they're not seeing results, they're not seeing numbers, then they'll think obviously what they're doing is working. But it will come back around. Like we went through that little phase of like, oh, it's all torture porn and all that, and then that went away. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're in it for a little bit longer, annoyingly, because I think it's going to take more than just Terrifier. But Terrifier's a good start because the numbers on that and how violent it is, the numbers hopefully will shake some heads in the studio, give them a little bit of an oomph. But I do think we need to see it in other forms, not just Terrifier. It needs to be coming from other indie films, and again, it's all just down to support, and that's
Yeah.
the problem with what I'm trying to do, because I am trying to do these things, and people are just so hateful towards it. Well, it you could be helping yourselves in other stuff if you supported it, because we are
Yeah.
trying to go for gore and violence and all that. But I don't know. I think they just need to see numbers, the studios, and then it will trickle up.
Because one of my biggest gripes is I wish more indie films hit theaters.
Yeah,
Like the last two indie films that we have gotten in theaters was Terrifier and Peter Pan. That's it.
yeah,
We
yeah.
don't get a lot of indie films, so my biggest gripe was make it available so I can spend my money.
Yeah. The,
Like,
the the only problem is that basically, like, again, with what I'm doing, the only reason they're going to cinemas is because the IP. Well, without the IP, like there's like there are other films, like one of the Cinderella film, that isn't me. I didn't do that, but that went to some cinemas. There's another film coming out, a Popeye film that I didn't do. That's going to
yeah,
cinemas, but they're only having these little cinema releases because the IP. So people want to hate it, but that's the only reason they're going to cinemas, because the cinemas are thinking, because of stuff like Blood and Honey, there might be some money in it, so they're giving them that opportunity. Um, but people, yeah, the cinemas won't open more space up for other indie films if people ain't going to check them out. And I feel like the more you go and check out Terrifier, the more you go and check out like the films that we're making, the more it will start opening little windows. But that's the problem still. Like that is why I'm doing IP based, because if I didn't do a film called Peter Pan, no one would watch it. No one would.
yeah.
It would, if you Google it, nothing would really come up. And I can say that because I've done 140 films that no one's seen. No one knows. I could Google it and barely anything comes up. And that is just the problem with indie film, because they don't have the market and budget to spend. Um, but yeah, it's a really difficult one, because at the same time they could put it in the cinemas and then people just don't support it, because again they've not had the market and budget to spend on, like, ads on Bloody Disgusting, or spend on bus cinema, the bus posters and all that. And it all comes down to that, because a lot of it is like making people aware that it's at the cinema, and it
Yeah.
costs so much money. Like I think we spent over 100 grand on Peter Pan, and still people don't know it was at the cinema. But that's because 100 grand ain't that much. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at
Yeah.
Companion, which comes out this week. I see that everywhere. I see it on buses. I see it on bus stops. I see it at the cinema. I see the trailer relentlessly. It's like I see it like on IMDb on the little banner. It's like it's
Yeah.
everywhere. But that's because they're probably spending like probably 500, 600 grand on it. But it's
Yeah.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, because it comes down to advertising at that
Mhm.
point. So,
Mhm.
so to make you feel a little bit better here,
Yeah. Go
because
on.
one of my episodes we did a Blumhouse review,
Oh yeah.
and where we broke down every single one of their films,
Oh yeah.
and We didn't say anything hateful. We just said what they could approve.
Hmm.
Uh, like Get Out was one of my favorite movies. I think they did that fantastic.
Mm.
We just told them to stop being friendly with stuff and
Mm.
to push the R rating
Yeah.
because Sinister 1 and 2 was phenomenal. Get Out was phenomenal. They had a couple other films, and I dropped the episode on Monday morning. I had a cease and desist that I couldn't talk about them anymore because I was critiquing them, telling them how to get make better stuff.
Oh my God, I should
And
start doing that. No, I'm joking. I should start sending out cease and desist. Yeah.
there you go.
I didn't know you could actually do that because isn't it just
Oh
an
yeah.
opinion? I don't.
So basically, they took it. They worded it like we were slandering them openly,
That's
but
weird. Yeah, that's weird.
and it hit my email. It says you cannot talk about us anymore, and it was like legit. And I was like, all I told y'all was to what y'all can do better.
Mm.
I was trying to help y'all.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked by that and surprised, but maybe not really because I guess like they just want it all to seem like positive online, or they just want all the stuff to seem positive, I guess, and it's their branding. But and that's why again, like you've got to be careful when you first see Rotten Tomatoes because a lot of these studio movies they'll have really fresh ratings for the first 20 or whatever, but that's because they host these really great events. So they'll host this screening, and at the screening they offer out free drinks, and they offer it's just an amazing time. So everyone has a
Yeah,
really good time there. So already they're having a really wicked time. Then they watch the film,
yeah,
so when you're already in a really positive mind state, you're going to enjoy something more, and then you're going to rate it well, and that's what a lot of these companies do. So and then yeah, then their first bunch of reviews are all positive because then people went to a screening and they feel like, oh, I'm
yep,
indebted to this studio because I got invited. Number one, number two, I had an amazing time. Number three, I might have been a bit tipsy or drunk. And it's all part of the thing, and that's what I want to eventually do with my stuff because I feel like some reviewers might enjoy like Winnie the Pooh or stuff like if they actually had fun in the cinema instead of watching it on a laptop at home and reviewing it on their own or whatever. Because I don't think that's the best way to watch a lot of like, especially the B movie films that I do like Winnie the Pooh. I think that is definitely like an experience thing.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's shocking. But yeah, not massively surprised.
Yeah, I
But
was
I do
like,
agree with it. I feel like Blumhouse, like, it's so watered down at the minute. Like, and I have mad respect for that company. Like, it's actually a company that I want to be like when I'm older. But yeah, I feel like they definitely like Halloween Kills was great, but they I guess they got free reign because that had so much buzz because the IP because the first one did so well, so they kind of can do what they want. Like they know people are going to show up. But I guess these other films that the maybe like Imaginary and Night Swim, I guess the uncertainty of people maybe not turning up at the cinema. That's why they're making it PG-13 because they know like the teenagers probably will turn up regardless. So if you don't make it an R rating, you still got like some money coming in. But those films would have been much better if yeah they had some good deaths in them. Because I don't think there was really any deaths in them films. It was more
no,
just jump scares. Yeah,
yeah, it was Shadow Games and jump scares,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like, what is this?
yeah. I'd love
Why?
to see deaths.
Yeah, like where's a stabbing or the the biggest one I hated about them was a movie that came out during the pandemic called Sick, and it was a
Oh
movie.
no, I actually liked that. You
You
want
like
about
that
yeah,
movie?
yeah, yeah. You want about the Kevin Williamson one, which it was like the slasher, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I actually
But
liked it.
what got me the most about that was no, you can't get in my car unless you have a mask on, and she drives away.
Oh
I'm like, what
yeah,
is
yeah,
this?
yeah. It was just yeah, that was just B movie, wasn't it? But no, I actually liked it. But I think it's because I like slashers, and I liked the whole like the two girls just getting fucking harassed, and I actually didn't mind it. I've only watched it once, but I watched it with someone. The other person fucking hated it, like yourself. The sounds of it. He hated it, but I actually liked it. But to be honest, with me, any slasher, I will probably like it because I'm just that's my love. Like I love slashers. So like this
I
Heart
love it.
Eyes, I know Heart Eyes. I'll probably like it regardless. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like with Scream, it's like the newer ones. They're probably not as good, but I still like them. Like I just will never not like a slasher. I don't think.
There was an Amazon movie. I
Oh yeah.
forget, like a couple, it was like a year or two ago, where they hopped in a time machine and they tried to figure out who killed somebody. That
Oh,
was fantastic.
wait, is it on Netflix? Is it called
It's
Time Cut?
no, not
Oh,
time
it's
cop.
not
It
that. Hmm.
it was like like within the last couple of years. And
It's
if
a
you
Wonderful Knife, isn't that? Where
nah,
she?
not that
No,
one. I
I
forget
don't know
what it
what one
was.
it is. Yeah.
It was an Amazon-based slasher film from like a year or two ago. I gotta send
I
you.
don't
I
know.
gotta. I'll find
Yeah,
it.
let me
I
know what
just
it
want to
is. Yeah,
watch
because
it.
I thought my gut instinct would have been that Time Cut one, but I didn't really like that, and that was on
No,
Netflix.
no.
Yeah, yeah.
It came out it came out like a year or two after the pandemic, and then it got another showing on Amazon, and it was it was fantastic.
I don't know. Yeah, send me it because I'll. If I
I'll
haven't
send it
watched
to
it, I'll
you
watch it. Yeah.
because it if you like slashers,
Yeah, I do.
you're
Yeah,
going to
love.
love this
Okay, good.
because it reignited everything about me, about Scream, about just just cold hard slasher films.
Mm,
Like, and it was I think it was free on Amazon.
that's weird. Yeah. No, I don't. I really don't know then. Yeah.
And I was like, why couldn't I throw my money at this film?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was included in my Prime membership. I was mad. I was mad as hell.
Yeah.
So the last question I have for you,
Yeah.
I ask everybody I interview because I just want to hear people's answers. If you were given unlimited budget, unlimited reign, and you could remake any horror movie of any time, what would it be?
Oh, it's so hard.
That's why I ask it
Um.
last because I have to know because I've heard some great answers and I will share a few with you.
Like in my head, like there's two films that just pop out, but I just don't know. Like I don't know how fun one of them would be, just because I feel like it would end up just being VFX, and it probably wouldn't be that fun. But I don't know. It'd either be Jurassic Park, just because
Yes.
I fucking love Jurassic Park. But I just don't think I'd enjoy all the VFX. I'd want it practical, but then I know that practical would come with so many challenges. My second one, I'll probably go for this. Probably just Scream. I fucking love Scream. Like, and I would just love to make a film like the first one. Like, yeah, yeah,
That that will always be the top one for me because I feel if to me it felt like it just I'll even say the second one. Second one is as good as the first one, but I think the first one laid the
yeah,
groundwork for just slasher movies.
yeah,
But
yeah. One
three,
and two, I
four,
love. Yeah, and the rest
th-
they didn't ever get it again, did they? It was all
no.
just good. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't really get it. I'm really hoping this new one they get it. Like, I in number five, that opening with General Ortega, it didn't do it for me. Like I know, like some people love that, but it just didn't do it for me. Like it didn't have what that Casey Becker opening had. Like I had with her, that it was genuinely tense. I genuinely felt like go 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 go, and it weren't just
Yeah.
because like it was Drew Barrymore. It was truly because it was like it was so tense because she had so many moments of nearly getting out and this and that, and it was so torturous how she was so close to her family, and he stabs her in the neck and she couldn't speak and blah 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 blah. But then yeah, Scream Five, the Omen just didn't do it for me. Like it was, I don't know, like it was all just in the kitchen, and I love the running around and the cat and mouse and the nearly getting out and all of that stuff, and I
Yeah.
miss it so much, and I don't know why we're not getting more of it, but yeah.
I trust me. I voice my opinion on my show, and nobody listens to me.
No, no.
I wish some people would hear our episodes and be like, these guys get it. Like,
Mm.
I was raised on Nightmare on the Streets, the Friday the 13th, the Maniac Cops, the just everything, and it just feels like we're just in this new era of just
Well, the problem, do
uh,
you know what the problem could be? Is like the more I've never had to work with like union and SAG actors and all this kind of stuff and union crew.
yeah,
It could just be literally that because those budgets and those productions are so high. It may just be a case of like they're so restricted because of all the rules that come with the unions and SAG and all that kind of stuff that they're just so maybe I don't know, they're so limited with what they can film nowadays. Whereas back then in the 90s, maybe it was a bit more flexible because I'm basically at the minute I'm learning more about SAG, and I'm getting my head in that now, just because there's a project coming up that again we haven't announced yet, but it's going to be like a really decent budget, and we would have to work with like union crew members
Yeah.
and SAG actors, and there's no you it's completely restricted everything about it. Like you cannot go over on schedule, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, and it's like it's nothing like the films I'm making now. Like right now, it's like if we haven't finished the day, worst case, me, the director, the DOP, and two other people will stay and we'll just keep filming. Everyone else
Right.
can go, but we'll keep filming. Whereas I don't think we would be able to on those type of films, and maybe that's why, like, the opening of Scream, maybe that is why it's actually only in the hallway and the kitchen because it doesn't actually leave those two locations.
Right.
Maybe that's why, because I don't know, maybe it's stuff to do with that and the limitations and not being able to execute it well if you're going to go out into the living room and then you're going to go out into the because if you think about the original Scream, that's in the kitchen, that's in the living room, that's in the garden, that's in the front of the house. It just keeps moving locations,
Yeah.
and I don't know how they would have been able to do that. Like maybe it is just down to that, and that is part of the thing that is like makes me sad about like SAG and unions. It's like they set out to really like support the crew and the cast and stuff, but in effect, it does maybe sometimes make the films worse. Because like I'm like really worried about like how I'm gonna achieve certain things like on this film that I'm talking about that I can't say much about, but I'm just like it's gonna be a whole new kettle of fish for me because yeah, I just people ain't gonna work after a certain time, and I think there's gonna be limitations of what I can do and can't do, and yeah, it will be a very interesting experience, I think. But yeah,
That's going to drag out the process for you too.
yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think creatively, like if you haven't made your day, you're fucked. Like I think it really will be. Like you have to look at the script and just know all the time, like, can I definitely shoot this in this amount of time? And again, like working with like union crew members, I don't know if they're gonna be used to working as quick as I work because I'm used to doing like I don't know, 10 to 15 pages a day. And
Yeah.
like on a studio film, I think it's gonna be more like 5 pages. So to me, I'm gonna be like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know,
And they're
but
going to be like, slow down.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'll be like, no, 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 because we can get more coverage. And they'll be like, no, who knows? I don't know. But I might just also be talking shit. I don't know. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense why. But sometimes I try and think of it as a producer and I'm like, well, there's very little locations. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's just down to like they're just condensing it because the unions, I don't know. Maybe it's just they won't be able to, they just worry they can't do it. I don't, who knows? I don't know.
By the way, I just found out the movie is called
Oh yeah.
Totally Killer.
I feel like I saw Totally Killer. I need to look at the poster again, but that sounds really. Is it the guy in the mask with the blonde hair?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I have seen that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, I like that one.
That was fantastic and it was
Yeah,
free.
yeah. I don't think it was free for me in the UK. I think I swear I paid for that. But yeah, good
Yeah,
because
it
I like to
was
give money to it.
because I signed up for Prime and
Mm.
it was like with your Prime members you can watch Totally Killer. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
click, and it was fantastic.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. No,
somebody
I
got
remember
killed at a
that.
party, and then they had to go back in time, and then they went to the photo booth, and it was a
Yeah,
time machine.
yeah.
I'm like, that was cool as shit. Why can't we do more of this?
I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why like that couldn't have got picked up by a big studio, for example, and had proper money. I don't know. Because yeah, that felt like the execution was really good and like the script was really good. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Another one that should have got a run off of Hulu was Mr. Crockett.
yeah, I liked that as well. That was really good. The effects in that were really good, weren't they? Yeah, I really loved all that. I thought that was really cool, the practical stuff.
That like it, as I said before, Mr. Crockett carved on Hulu. Come on, Killer Pumpkin just axing people.
Mm,
Like, come on,
it
we're
was so
we're in this
fun.
age of indie. Come on, can we show
Yeah.
a little bit of love?
Yeah, yeah, no,
Come
totally,
on.
totally. It's yeah, crazy. Yeah, yeah, I didn't think about that one, but yeah, that should have got like a limited cinema run or something. I swear that maybe would have, right? Because that was a, I feel like that was fairly in the horror community. I feel like I did see that a lot, like people talking about that. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like I did.
I didn't see anything about it.
Yeah.
Only thing I saw about it was I popped on Hulu and I was like, Mr. Crockett, what the hell's this?
Oh
And
no,
then
yeah. By the time I watched it, I'd heard about it quite a few times. Yeah.
no, I went and I tried to not watch trailers. I think trailers give
Hmm.
5, 6 minutes for a trailer is not me.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah,
give me like a 45 second
yeah,
first,
totally. Just a little, yeah, little taste of what you're gonna get.
because I'm a huge Marvel fan,
Oh
and
right, yeah,
I'm not really feeling Marvel anymore because I've already seen 36 Captain America trailers, and
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, yeah,
I don't need to go see this. I've already seen the trailer. It's the whole movie.
yeah.
But now it's just like as we said, we're in this new age of everything. But
My
Scott,
my actual favorite was you know, the Middle Avengers. I can't remember what that's called, but the one where at the end they all die. I think maybe Infinity War or something like that, where they all die at the
yes,
end. Yeah. So because I'm not really a Marvel fan, just because I feel like they're all kind of similar structure. Like I feel
yeah,
like they always end the same, and then they never like for me take many risks. And I remember when I was in the cinema, I was like sat there like this, or watching it, and then as soon as they all started dying, I was like, oh, I'm so into this. That's so good.
yes,
And then I was so annoyed in the next one they just undid it all and brought them all back to life. I was like, no, you should have killed them. That was so good. And then you could redo stuff with those characters because we've seen so many Spider-Mans and it's always the same. Like I would have been very happy with Tom Holland actually dying and then we got a new Spider-Man and it could be maybe someone older or I don't know, someone who had disabilities. Wouldn't that be really cool to see what would happen, you know, with them being bitten by the spider? I don't know, just seeing a totally different take on it and totally different character, you know, taking on those things. Um, but that's what I want to do with Pooniverse. I want it to be like genuinely in all these introduction films that we're making, Peter Pan, Winnie the Pooh, Bambi, Pinocchio, I want you to grow to love some of these characters and they're not going to get out alive. And I don't want them to. I think it will mean something. You've spent a whole film with them and it will mean something. It's like in Scream when the girl dies in the garage door, Tatum, I really enjoy her screen time and I didn't want her to die, but that's good. It meant something. And that's what I want Pooniverse to do. I want it to be like when someone like I don't know, you've got Christopher Robin, you've got Wendy, you've got Roxanne from Bambi, and you've got some characters from Pinocchio that you've not met yet. Hopefully, you start to love them survivors, and
yeah.
when you get to Pooniverse and I fucking slaughter them and they won't die easy. It'll be like brutal. They're gonna if these survivors are gonna die, they're gonna die really bad. Um, so
I
I'm
can't
hoping
wait.
like people enjoy that. But that's what I want. I want people to take risks, and I want the survivors. I want it to not be as predictable, and I definitely don't want to do stuff like you know Chad in the Scream Six getting stabbed 100 times and then they're alive. It's like no, in mine, if you
No
get
way.
stabbed 100 times, you're dead. So
Yeah, because I think the best cinema experience for me was Infinity War because people were openly weeping,
yeah, that's what I want.
openly
Yeah,
weeping and
yeah.
crying, and I'm just here. I'm just like,
hmm I was
fucking
so happy
amazing.
with it. I was like, shit, they actually took so many risks. I remember like the person that I was with is a massive, massive Marvel fan, and that's the only reason I went. He was like, he didn't have anyone to go with, and he was like, "Would you come with me?" And I was like, "I haven't seen the other one. Do I have to watch it?" He was like, "No, not really." He was like, "It's just going to be all them fighting." And I was like, "Okay." So then I went and watched it, and I was like, "Oh wow, that was actually really good." I was so like not expecting that to happen, and I was like, "Fuck, are they actually dead?" And he was like, "Yeah, I think so." And then the next one, I was like, "Oh," I was like, "It'll got brought back to life."
Oh, oh, look, they Disney this to fuck up again.
I
Oh,
know.
happiness.
I was so annoyed. I was like, oh, when like Scarlet Witch turning into Ash, I was like, that's cool. And Tom Holland as Spider-Man, I was like, so good. I was like, yeah, I love that you just killed them all. So risky, but
Yeah,
don't know. I
Disney
didn't.
being Disney.
I know. Just brought them all back.
But Scott, thank you very much for joining me. I cannot wait to see what you got for us coming in the
Oh,
podcast.
thanks. Thank you so
Cause,
much.
cause me, my co-host, are we're huge fans of Winnie the Pooh. So
Oh,
I
thanks.
had to have you on here, and I
Yeah.
thank you for your time, man.
No, thanks for doing it.
Of course, anytime you have something new come out, please come back because we
Okay,
would love
cool.
to talk about it. You are more than welcome here,
Oh,
and
thanks.
I can't wait for you to kill everybody in the Pooniverse because
Yeah.
I honestly hope my theater gets it because I would love to
I
see it.
feel like Pooniverse, honestly, I think out of everything we've got coming up and what we've done, I think this will be our Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey #1. I think it will be that. 2.0. I think we'll get that experience again, but
Yeah,
this time around we've got hopefully more money, and I'm feeling very confident. Like I feel like it's gonna be the best film that we've made, and I can't wait. Like the ideas are fucking cool. I'm excited. Yeah.
I I can't wait. So whenever you have something come back, please,
All
I'd
right,
love to
cool.
have you back. Thank you again for your time, man. Appreciate you.
All right, see you later. Bye.